All right, Dr. Martin here again with our third lecture, micro lecture on word fundamentals. Now we're gonna have to fix some things now to kind of polish our document off. So let's go back to our document over here. Now you'll notice quite a few things that I haven't done. Like, I haven't capitalized everything. There's some spelling and grammar issues, and there might even be some accessibility issues. But we're gonna use our styles here and some of the tools on our ribbon to fix this. Now, first of all, at the end of this sentence, I need a period. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type that period in there. I would like to make sure I capitalize the first word of every sentence. Now you notice that student is highlighted blue. That indicates a spelling or grammar error. And if I right click on it, it says, hey, there's a grammar error, double check capitalization. Here's a suggested fix. I'm going to click on that. All right, and that's correct. So then it's saying here's another grammar error. We should have organization of here, but I don't really like that suggestion. Let's read the sentence. Student success in college requires organization, which really should be here is a comma. Organization, comma, time management, and effective study habits. So don't just blindly do whatever word says. Make sure that you're using your proper grammar that you know. Okay, it's going to probably make another suggestion here of another comma. Yep, management comma. In business, we don't use a comma before and. You may be required to do that in other papers, but not in business writing. Okay, here's another area where we have a grammar issue. You need to capitalize the first word of the sentence. So students should learn how to take notes. Let's see, comma, right? Nope, it's saying notes of. Notes, comma, review materials regularly and ask for help. It's probably going to suggest another comma there. We're not going to use that for business writing. Now, notice I have capitalization issues on all my lists as well. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to use the capitalization tool. Okay, and I believe we're going to see that here under the change case tool. So this is on the home ribbon under font, under change case. And I want this to just be sentence case, meaning the first word of every sentence should be capitalized. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. And you'll notice now that the first letter is capitalized, but not the second. Okay, you can also make every word capitalized. Time management strategies include, so every word is capitalized. Okay, you can also make it in all caps. Right, so a lot of different options here. We're going to make this back to home, change the case here, make this sentence case. Now I'm in a table, and most of the time in a table you want the labels, right, the column headings to be bolded. So I'm going to hit bold there. Right. So now everything's bolded. Another thing we can do is we can go to align, and we can center align the text in the table. So everything's centered here. And it's also saying, hey, look, Excel coming after Microsoft, it should probably be capitalized. It's offering Excels, Microsoft Excels, but actually this is a tool, a Microsoft tool, so it needs to have a capital on each one of those. Google Calendar is also the name of a tool, so we're going to capitalize those as well. Okay, So now we have our document, which looks pretty right. We have a header, we have a title, a paragraph, a heading, a bulleted lists, two bulleted lists, a numbered lists, and a table. And we also have page numbers here at the bottom. Now, once I'm done with that now, so I'm just going to highlight, hit delete that. All right. So now, just to be sure, and we should do this after every document we create, is we should run it through the spelling and grammar checker and the accessibility checker. So let's click the review tab, and we're going to click on spelling and grammar. Okay, and it's going to add some suggestions to the side panel here, and it's going to suggest again that we have a comma after management. We're going to just click ignore. A comma after regularly, ignore. Okay, ignore. There we go. All right. And then it looks like everything else looks pretty good, and there's no other issues. Now, if I were to spell this wrong on purpose, then it should catch this, right? So it's saying we have one spelling issue, and you'll notice that it's underlined in red. Red means a spelling issue. Spelling, organize. There we go. All right, so make sure you run that spelling and grammar checker. The next thing we're going to do, let's close that, is run the accessibility checker. Okay, this makes sure that people with disabilities or impairments or learn different ways, that it is readable for them, right? So it's saying any errors? No. There's no, we have the table headers. We don't have any images or figures that need some alternative text. An alt text is where if you had an image in your document and you put your cursor over it, then it would give you a little pop-up text description of what that image was. We don't have any of those in there. We're out to worry about headings, no split cells, no hard to read contrast. So accessibility looks great. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do, we know that this saves automatically, but we need to export this as a PDF, and we're going to need to do it within Word. Now, this is something that I've noticed on your assignments that you haven't done correctly, because what I see is that you have your first name, last name, the assignment name, .docx.pdf. Okay, so I know that you're not doing that correctly when it has both of those extensions. If we just within our document now, if we just say File, Export, Download as PDF, so it's converting it. Now it says it's ready for download. We've downloaded it, and now it's ready for us to look at. I'm going to click on it, and when we look at our downloads folder, let's see if I can share that real quick. Look at my downloads folder. How about we do this? All right, so I'm going to take my downloads folder, put it up here. So here we have our week 3 assignment. I'm going to have to, I don't need a preview. Here we go, week 3 assignment sample.pdf. So it doesn't say .docs.pdf, just .pdf. So now we know that we've done it correctly. And if we look at the file, come on, we'll see that the file looks exactly the same as our Word document. Okay, so let's go back to our document here and let's look at our OneDrive. Now here we are in week 3 and we have the sample file. That's my little cheat file, right, that I uploaded, but we don't have our PDF in here. Before we submit, we want to make sure we have our files all in one place in case we forget later. Now when we export PDF from Word, it downloads it to our computer. So we're going to click on the plus sign here. We're within the week 3 folder. Click File Upload. I'm going to choose Downloads, and I'm going to click on the file we just downloaded. Boom. So now we have our week 3 Word assignment file and our PDF file, and you notice they don't have duplicate extensions. Okay, so this is the correct way to do this. Now, in order to complete our assignment, you will have to have both of these files downloaded because unfortunately right now Canvas cannot read a shared link. Right? It just doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We don't know why. It's one of those Harry Potter magic things. So we already have the PDF downloaded to our downloads file. So I'm just going to click here. Just click on that file. Click on these little 3 dots and look, download right here. So now in our downloads file or in our downloads folder, we have, and I'll show you that here, now we have both the PDF and the Word file. They're saved to our OneDrive right here, and they're also saved to our computer so that we can submit them. Okay, so that's when you would go to Canvas, Courses, CIS1, and we go down to week 3, the week 3 assignment, Word Fundamentals. And again, this looks a little different to you because we have not I've not published it yet. I've kind of kept it locked. Let me go change that real quick. Edit, lock until, boom. Now it's going to be open. I'm just going to go ahead and take that off just real quick so I can show you what the student version looks like. So week 3 assignment, Word Fundamentals. Now if I click View a Student, boom, there it shows it. Okay, so here we have our assignment. Okay, the purpose, read that, right? We have our styles, title, heading 1, normal, list bullet, and list number. We've modified the normal style to 2.0. For the assignment, you're going to modify it to 1.5. And you've changed case using sentence case, capitalize each word. You've inserted the table, and you've changed the margins to 1 inch. You have a header, you have page numbers. You ran the speller and grammar check, and you fix those issues. You've run the accessibility checker, you fix those issues. And now we're going to submit the Word file and the PDF file. Okay, so when we click on Submit, we can drag and drop from our Downloads folder. Come on. And both of our files are here now, and click Submit. Boom. Hooray, sparklies and fun stuff. Okay, so they're all there. All right. I'm going to leave student view here. So this is our week 3 assignment. That's what we're going to do for week 3. This is the walkthrough. Hopefully this was beneficial to you. Now make sure you watch well, you obviously watch the lectures if you're if I'm talking to you, right? But before you take the word quiz, right? Because the word quiz is about the things that we've learned within Word. Okay, so do that last. Now I have included the little sample file. If you want to use my file as a sample, that's fine, or you can create your own. Either way, you're going to have to use those styles to do everything that is required for this assignment. Okay, so these are the fundamental tools for Word that are going to help you be successful, not just to pass this class, but in your other classes and in your career. So pay attention to these. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week on those micro lectures. I look forward to grading your work. Have a good day.